know how sometimes we're trying to say something to someone else and they say, look, you're not getting it, you're not listening, you're not understanding, you're not getting me.
You're not, sometimes, it is because communication does come in so many different forms, as to say, that we misinterpret often, or we're actually both saying the same thing, but we're not understanding each other.
Yeah, and we're not like what you would say, clicking or vibing. You're not on the same brainwave, but really it's because you're not communicating the same way the other person is, and
that is what we're going to be talking about
in this week's episode of
Get Real with the English Sisters.
I mean, we communicate. Some people say, I feel you. Some people say, I hear what you're saying. We have, in our bodies, we have these representative systems that, are either through touch or hearing or feeling.
Or feeling, yeah.
So sometimes we're saying, I hear you, but if the person isn't like a person that, that hears, that's auditory, as we say, they're not going to get you. Where they're not going to understand what you're saying. Whereas if you say, I really feel what you're going through.
Oh, you mean by using certain words?
Certain words as well. The language we use affects people in different ways.
Absolutely. I was thinking about my husband and his brother the other day.
Yeah.
They both started talking, basically. They were both saying the same thing. But they started raising their voices because both of them thought that the other one was saying something else. And they were basic. I could see it I was just listening as an outsider, and I was thinking, what? They're both basically on the same page. What's going on here?
They're agreeing.
And they were, in the end, they started getting louder and louder. And in the end, they were just literally barking at each other. And I thought, what on earth? You're both saying the same thing. Hang on a second. Take a moment to chill, sit down again, because they both stood up.
Oh dear.
And I thought, my husband was about to leave because they were in the office environment. He was about to leave, and I thought, oh my gosh, I stayed seated.
Yes.
So as to my communication was, yes, look, I'm still sitting here, even though you've got up. I'm supposed to be going with you in the car because we had one car. But I just stayed seated so that he could understand that I think, things were okay, and I really wanted them to sort it out.
Yes.
Whatever it was about business this time, but they were both saying the same thing.
It's shocking,
just
isn't it?
in different ways, yes. And it's shocking how many of the times this can actually happen when you're both saying the same thing. This can happen in, relationships as well. You just really, both of you are basically saying the same thing. It's like, you say, you're not listening to me, but at the same time, the other person thinks that you're not listening to them. So do you understand?
Of course.
Yeah, so
you
it's
both
really
think you're
common.
not listening to each other. You're not hearing
You're
what
not
I'm saying.
being
You're not
heard.
feeling me. But I think that sometimes as well, when you start getting agitated or like a little irate or angry, it can stop you actually hearing what the other person's actually saying.
Yes, it definitely.
So you actually go like on your own little soapbox without realising what the other person is trying to tell you. So sometimes if you just take a deep breath and you just say, okay, I'm just going to listen to that person for 5 minutes and to see what they have to say, and then I'll talk.
Do you know what I do sometimes if I really want to talk and I'm really quite agitated? I actually put my tongue on the top of my mouth, and then it sort of like quietens me.
I thought you were saying bite it.
No, I don't bite it. I just make sure that my tongue touches the roof of my mouth. That's what I want. The roof. And then I just like stay quiet.
Yes, it quietens you.
I don't want it to quieten me now because I'm doing a verbal podcast, but But if you try it, you just actually touch the roof, then I can sort of be quiet and calm down in a way and listen.
I think that's where the expression tongue-tied comes.
What does it? I think tongue-tied means...
Tongue-tied your tongue is tied up and you can't express yourself.
Yeah, but in this case, you're like, I just do this as a little trick, and it helps
It
me.
is a trick. It is a trick that's
Do you know
very useful.
when I started doing it is when you said you talk
With the
too
kids.
much with the kids.
Yeah.
Because with the kids, I was always trying to justify or over explain things. And I remember Violetta said to me one day, hey, they get it, you don't have to explain it so much or justify why you want them to do something. I can't even remember what it was about now, usually silly things, but anyway. And I would tend to over, and you said, do that.
Yes.
And now
It's a good tip.
It's a good tip.
It's a good tip because when you do that also it calms your sympathetic nervous system. So you go into parasympathetic, which is the calming one.
Yeah.
So it calms you right down.
So you're obviously going to give off, like by being calm in that meeting, I was the calm one. And I think because his brother was staring at him and like, literally, there was rage going on. They were both feeling as if they weren't being understood.
They were both feeling as if each one was attacking
the other one. You haven't done this, and you haven't. What about you? You said you were going to do this. Blah blah blah. And so in the end, I managed to just sit down. I thought, my goodness me, you're not understanding each other at all here.
No, and
ultimately you love each other so much. Stop this. I thought, you're both
ridiculous.
you treasure each other. This is. But I could see it like a fly flying around. They couldn't see it at that moment in time.
I think it's important to notice that sometimes we get into these traps that we just repeat. So especially with a certain person, so you always go on the defensive straight away instead of actually listening to that person, and you're ready to like kind of bite back and shout back or whatever. And that this does happen a lot in long-term relationships, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
And you have to reset,
it does.
and you have to think, well, if it was someone I didn't know, would I treat them like this? Would I be so on the defensive if I had never heard this person speaking before? Maybe I would actually listen to see what they're going to say, whereas a lot of the time we just mind read that we know what they're going to say, interrupt them.
We think we know, yes.
And yes, we think we know.
We think we know, especially with our loved ones. Yeah. We just take it for granted. Oh, I know what you're going to tell me, and blah, blah, blah. And you ignore them, and you're not respectful, really, of what they're actually saying. Or sometimes you're misinterpreting what they're saying. Like if your mum says to you, oh, you never come and see me. You never come and see me. And when you do come, it's like for 5 minutes. What is she really saying to you? What is she really saying behind those words? She's probably saying she's feeling lonely.
Yeah.
She misses human connection.
And she needs for you to show that you love her.
Yeah, maybe if you can't go that often, but when you do go, you give her a really big, long hug. Or make her feel calm. Do you know, these are things that people... They say one thing, but really they're meaning another thing. And so this is where communication, you have to be a little bit sort of...
intuitive.
Yes, you have to try and figure out what are they really saying to me.
Yeah. The other day I was reading on Reddit, this lady was saying that her husband always asks her to help her with everything. So as soon as he's got like a technological thing to do or a bill to pay or something to do with like the phone or the computer, she said he like pretends he doesn't know how to do it, and he just always like
relies on her,
dependent on me. So he's always like bothering me throughout the day, saying, come and help me with this, come and help me. No, you're better at it than I am. She actually used those words. You can do it better.
Really?
And I suggested, as a therapist, I said, maybe, underneath all of that, there's the need for you to actually connect on a deeper level. Maybe like, maybe you can try going on date nights or repeating that you love him.
Yeah, so you think that he was
context, in another context, because I think he's like, it's also like a cry of attention for her attention.
Yes.
Even if she gets irate with him or whatever, but she's still doing something with him, for him.
Yes, exactly. They're still doing something
together, kind of.
Well,
thing.
he's still getting her attention,
yes.
But maybe it's not the way that she would like to give that attention.
Not at all. And she's thinking he's a blinking pain in there, whatever.
Yeah.
And he's probably like craving her attention. And a lot of people in the comments said, yeah, but you don't want another third child. Your husband sounds like a child. He's not you need a husband. But some people did write, well, what does he do for you? I'm sure he does other things for you as well that you don't do. And it's true. Relationships are a bit like that.
Yeah,
they're a bit like, you help each other. But I think the fact that it was really getting on her nerves, that she needed to address it there. She needed to address it in a different way and really say, hey, what's really going on?
Yeah.
Maybe he was missing her, or
Probably.
he felt insecure about
That's what I mean. It's like when you see, like I gave the example of the mum nagging, saying you never come or you're whatever. There's another meaning behind that. They're feeling lonely. There always is, yeah. There always is. And maybe by him constantly asking her, can you help me with this email? I don't know what it was, but
well, yeah, it was with anything that had to do with technology, basically.
Yeah. So,
they were in their 50s, so I mean, they weren't.
Well, they were in their 50s, but yeah, there are some young people that really rely on it in the same way. So, okay. He was still quite relatively young to be in his 50s. He's not like in his 90s.
But I don't think he thought he was that young anymore.
Yeah. No, I know. Obviously, he's not that young. He's in his 50s, but yes, but he didn't feel as if he could.
He was obviously up with the technology. Lots of people were saying, well, get him to take a course.
Right, yeah.
But I don't really think that was a real issue. I think underlining when your husband or someone keeps saying, come over, come and help me with this, it's because they want to be next to you. They want you to be there for them. They want you to show that
their love,
it's like an act of service for them. It's their love language, even though she probably say, like, heck, it's not his love language. He's a real pain. He keeps asking me. But really, it's for him that she was actually come, even if she was saying, annoyed and that, but she would actually come. For him, it was probably
important.
It was probably like her showing love for him. That's why I suggested that maybe she, you can have more quality time, go on date nights, do things together.
Well, yeah, I mean, it is nice. Like me, sometimes I can't get the TV remote to work. Yeah. So I call my husband. I mean, I could figure it out in the end. It's annoying me now. I think it's because the TV's old.
It's really
But
old.
It's an old smart TV. But it doesn't connect to Netflix very well. And it gets it. But he's got these two remotes.
His domain, though, isn't it?
Because it's like, and he'll come and I'll call him. And he feels
does he like it when you call him?
I think he does, kind of, because he says, all right, I'm coming, and then he kind of does, and then I always say, oh, thank God, thank goodness you fixed it, you can only do this. I sort of make,
You give him a lot of satisfaction.
Probably, yeah. Thinking about it.
If I give him a kiss and a cuddle, and thank you, my darling, for saving the world.
Yeah, but he used to do that more with me. Like, if he wanted, like, internet on, he would always call me. I can't, the match isn't working.
He's a lot like that.
Yeah, so he would, But anyway, I don't mind doing that.
If it's a cutie thing and you like doing it, cute, you like doing things for each other, that's fine. I mean, my husband was telling me to do something the other day, and I said, that's a man's joke. A man's job, what do we want men for? And then he started, obviously it was a joke, because it was something I could easily do as well, but I was saying, you do it.
Was it like bringing the wood in or something?
No. Well, it could have been, because that was one of them. But he was tired because he's doing the bathroom. But he's renovating the bathroom at the minute, so it might have been that he was tired and it's something he didn't particularly want to do. But I didn't want to do it either, so I got him to do it. But I think, that's the point, the communication. Yeah. But I think behind it's not just what we say, it's what's behind it.
Yes.
It's like when you see these skits, when you see these skits on Instagram saying, like, when a woman says she's fine, it means that she's never really fine. There's always something behind it. You get these kind of, I was going to say, like, stereotypical things.
Because that's not just women that do that, that's men as well.
Exactly, men do it as well.
But a
lot of people say, no, don't worry, I'm fine, I don't want you to help me. And then, they'll hold a grudge after.
Yes, and then they feel vulnerable. They're frightened of being vulnerable and saying, no, I do want you to help me. There's a lot of the time there's that fear of opening up and being vulnerable, and saying,
I think men have a harder time with that.
Like if you
Not
have to go
always,
to
because there's some people. I remember I was thinking of a client of ours a long time ago, and she was saying that she was so like strong-minded and like independent that she really struggled with being in a relationship with a man, because she said she really found it hard to even, if he wanted to do something for her, she would feel like, oh no, let me do it, kind of thing.
I'll do it, be more efficient.
And this would make her like not be in relationships for that long. She would break up with a lot of her partners because they didn't like it, because they wanted to see like a bit of vulnerability. They wanted to feel kind of useful. And she wouldn't.
You said, I wish that. No, my husband will probably think, oh, she's certainly mad.
She sounds amazing.
Yeah. No, because
I think
I always make him drive. Like the other day he was saying, what the hell? Why can't you drive? And I was saying, well, you drive. Come on, So I certainly make him feel useful. Oh, dear me. It's like I would like, but I can say things like that. Like if I have a hospital visit, for example, I'll say, no, I don't want to go on my own.
No, I'm scared.
I'm scared. I never really know what they're going to say to me. I am not going on my own.
No.
So I'll just say that. No, I'm not going on my own. Why?
But
because
some
I'm scared.
people that aren't as confident as you and aren't
that's
therapists,
silly. Yes,
no,
why?
they might say, okay then, and then go and cry in the bathroom and be really upset.
I actually said if I had to go on my own, I'd go and cry. I'd be vulnerable.
Some people wouldn't show their vulnerability, and they would go and cry in the bathroom on their own, and then go on their own, and then feel like their partner didn't really care
support
about
them. Yes. So it's important to just say it,
because sometimes your partner doesn't
understand the hidden message,
and they don't realize.
They don't realize it's like your mum, like classical. Because I'm saying this because that's what our mum used to say to us. You never come and visit us, even though Violetta actually lived upstairs. But literally, it was always this moaning and it could seem like moaning, but at the same time, what was it? She was lonely.
Well, yeah.
She was
lonely.
But the only thing is
that there's also so much you can take. Because I used to say, if I go and visit her, like for an hour a day, she'll want 2 hours a day or 3 hours.
Yes, I know. That was when she was very elderly. Yeah.
So you also have to kind of know, yes, you can give, but, you have to set boundaries as well, because otherwise you end up...
Oh, no, you definitely have to set boundaries, but you can also be comprehensive and understand why.
Yeah, don't get angry over it or bitter.
Just think, okay, they're elderly. Yes, they're lonely. It is a time of your life when you feel that you can't do as many things as you could do. Perhaps you can't drive anymore. You feel like more...
You feel more vulnerable.
Vulnerable, yes. You're at a vulnerable time in your life, maybe health or whatever. And so you become more dependent on others, let's put it that way. But of course, other people, the family members and friends have to also take, you have to look after yourself. But yeah, definitely. I think a lot of the times we have to realize what is being said. Like if a friend shouts at you and say, well, you didn't phone me last week, or why didn't you come with me? You never come out for drinks anymore. Perhaps there's reasons why they're getting so irate. It's because they miss you. They want to talk with you. It's not just because they want to go out and have that drink.
No, there's a lot of...
Sometimes people just don't say it. Hey, I miss you.
Yes.
I really miss talking with you. I'm lonely. People don't, they don't say that.
No, they don't.
They'll say millions of other things.
Yeah, and sometimes they'll say accusatory things.
Yes, most of the time it's...
and so you go on the defense and say, look, I don't need you.
I don't need you, get lost. If you're going to be mean to me, I'm not coming. And then you end up losing...
something that's really precious.
That's precious, yeah. So you've got to understand that this communication, it's not what is said, it is often...
What is unsaid.
What is unsaid, yes, you are so right. It is often what is unsaid, what is behind the words that you have to think about sometimes. Yeah, definitely.
And it's a skill you can hone into as well by just be more of an active listener. So don't talk so much and listen more.
Listen more. See what they're doing as well. With
Do like what Yutka says, put your tongue on the top of your mouth.
Yeah. Keep your face in a resting position.
Yeah, and take a deep breath and just listen, and then maybe say at the end, yeah, I know, I love you, and I really care about you, and share some love with that person.
Seeing you like this is upsetting to me. I can see this is something you really care about, and
because sometimes
your life
you
is going to change.
Yes, like this lady with her husband, if she's just said to her husband, instead of getting annoyed, darling, I really love you, and I can see how this is really affecting you, the fact that you can't do this, you feel as if you can't do this on your own, but I love you, and these are the steps that you have to take, and I really love you, darling, and obviously without sounding condescending, and then in the end, I would be almost 100% convinced that the hubby would say, don't worry, I'll be able to do it.
Yeah, I've got this. I've understood it, perhaps with a little bit. Because obviously if this lady, whoever this lady is, but if she storms in and said, God, like, you're useless, give it to me. And they just take the tablet away or the phone away or something, that the other person's not going to be able to learn. No. If you sit next to them saying, look, this is how you do it. Look, can you see there's this little tab and you click on it and you open it.
You let them do it.
You let them do it. And then they do it once and they get some steps wrong and then they do it again. And that's how we all learn, isn't it?
Yeah, by the third time.
By the third time.
3 times a charm.
Yeah, next time you sit next to them and say, hey, look, this is how you do it. Do you remember? That's how your daughter was teaching us at first. Do you remember?
Yes, she did. A long time ago.
A long time ago when we were...
She'll say, Mum.
She'll say, Mum, it's all that long ago.
No, it was a long. It was like 15 years ago or something.
Yeah, I know. It was ages
I mean, we
ago.
didn't even know how to write emails 15 years ago.
No, that's right. And then we just learned.
So,
it sounds ridiculous now.
I know. Now we're super techie.
Well, I don't feel as if I'm that techie.
No, but you feel as if you're with it. You can use the phone and the computer and everything. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can do everything you need to do on your device.
Well, yes. I mean, yeah, I don't do that much on it.
No,
but yeah,
more or less.
More or less, yeah. Open a document, transform a PDF. I can do certain things, yeah.
You can do a lot more than you think you can.
Probably, yeah. And if I don't know how to do it, I know how to research how to do it.
Exactly.
Which I think is really...
That's also what the lady was saying. Why can't he just look it up? Go on YouTube, look up a video,
yes,
go and
exactly,
research it.
Yeah.
But he obviously didn't want to, because really he wanted the human connection of having his wife do it. And yes,
or having his wife next to him or something. If he's calling her into the room, it's... Every 5 minutes, it's tedious. So there's a reason, for tedious, yeah.
That's why I said it should be, there has to be other outlets. If you're finding that there's a person in your life that's constantly, like, always needs your attention, just, go and find out what's really going on.
Yeah, what's really going on, absolutely, yeah. It's like the child that's always pulling on the skirts.
Yes,
Mommy. There's obviously there's something going on, isn't there? There's boredom, there's loneliness, not enough interaction. There's something going on, because if you see the child when they're happily playing with other children, they're perfectly engrossed in their own worlds and having a wonderful time. They're certainly not coming, asking for your attention. They're always saying, "Oh my God, no! 5 more minutes. Let us play 5 more minutes." So
Well, let us know what you think. Does communication come in different forms? Do you find that you're often like shouting back at someone or feeling very like edgy with them? Maybe, take a step back and just think, hey, maybe something going on in that person's life.
Yeah.
They could also be in pain, or a lot of people have pain they don't
physical,
talk about.
mental pain, yes. Absolutely.
So come and say hi on Instagram or Facebook or wherever you like, LinkedIn. And also come and see the video on YouTube, which is video of us sitting here on the settee at Yutka's house. Thanks for watching Love and Smiles from the English Sisters. Bye.